I'm Ode. That's Vicky. I'm me. You're you. We are we.
Oh my god, that was so corny.
The You, Me, We
goodness.
podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the You, Me, We podcast. I'm Ode.
I'm Vicky.
And first, we want to say thank you to our guest from our last episode, Paji. If you haven't checked out our previous episode, or for all of our new listeners, any episodes in the past, please go do so now on any platform or whatever your preferred platform for a podcast are. We are on Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and I believe we're still on TuneIn as well. And I think iHeartRadio is perfecting their process, so maybe we'll be on there soon at some point. Yeah. Vicky.
I was like, you just stopped. What was that?
Because I was done pitching that.
So
How are you, Vicky?
How have you been doing on the wedding planning? This is great because it's a conversation I've been wanting to have.
Mm-hmm.
But you seem very unavailable, so I'm actually happy that we carve out this time. And by carve out, it really feels like a physical carve out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly.
No. Here's why. No, not that. Because to be honest, there is a conversation I want to have about the wedding, but we can't have it on air.
Oh, okay. So does that mean we're going to have a conversation later on?
Sure.
Don't lie.
They never gets free time. Yes. Continue.
Wow. Okay. So today on Instagram I was asking, and if you see me rocking back and forth, it's because I absolutely hate the lighting in here, and I always look horrible in the lighting. So I asked today on Instagram, what's the pettiest thing you've ever done? Mm-hmm. So now you didn't participate, which sometimes
because I'm not
you
petty.
Participate. Oh yeah, okay.
I'm a mature.
Yeah, I'm sure you are.
Young man. Go
Middle-aged.
Watch your mouth.
So what is the pettiest thing you've done that you can recall?
The pettiest thing I have ever done.
That you can recall right now in the next 5 seconds.
A little more warning would have been
Okay, I'll give you 5 more seconds.
You go first, and I'll.
I've already asked you. No, I hate when people do that. Like, I'm asking you a question. Don't answer it with a question back to me. Like, answer the question first, and then you can ask me a question.
Okay, here's what I hate. And I've told you this before. When somebody comes,
but I'm not asking you what you hate. I'm asking you what's the pettiest thing you've done.
What I hate.
But that's not what I asked you.
Well,
Stick to the script.
In answering, I'm going to start by telling you what I hate. And I've told you this before. Vicky will, you know what? This reminds me of that that meme. Yes, I'm going off topic. That meme that's like, what was it? I think it's like, it's one of those like, nobody anywhere, nobody ever.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody says something.
Mm-hmm.
It's that meme that's like, I think it was like men or a boyfriend at 2 a.m. and it's like no comment, no nothing, not saying anything. And then it's girlfriend at 2 a.m. If I woke up tomorrow with no arms, would you still love me?
I've done that. I think I wrote to somebody like, this is me all day, every day.
So yeah,
I shared it.
Yeah.
Shared it. Like, if you're not in a relationship, what are you in if this does not happen?
So I think my issue has always been when you ask me something.
Oh, look how you clean that up real good.
No,
okay.
when somebody or you, when you ask me something like that, something like random like that clearly you have thought about, because you have been pondering this random, what if you woke up with one eye missing, would I still have? You've thought about it. And here I am expected to answer this random question that I was thinking nothing near it. So I'm always like, you know what? In order so I can think of it or think of my answer, like you have had time to think of it because you've been focusing on this random question, why don't you go ahead and answer so I can now ponder on it the same way you have had hours or minutes more than I have to think about it. That's why sometimes I'll say, what's your answer to that? Because clearly you've thought about it.
No.
So in 1 millisecond, it popped into your head.
This is the issue.
Okay, if I didn't have a left foot.
And
it was
this
replaced
is what you
by
don't
a
understand.
knife.
Just because I posed that question doesn't mean that that's what I was thinking about. Like, oh, what is the pettiest thing I've ever done? Like,
no, well, you've had the conversation all day, so I'm sure at some point.
I've had the conversation all day. Not the conversation. I've reposted people's responses all day. That's not a conversation, and that doesn't mean that I for 1 second stopped and thought, what's the pettiest thing I've done all day?
So at no time you thought about your answer.
So you soup yourself up in all those situations, because in your head, you tell yourself that I've already thought about this, that I've already, let it sit on my head for a little bit, and I've thought, no, this is all you in your head, hyping yourself up over nothing.
So at no time did you come up with like your answer to that question?
No, I did not.
Sure.
See? Again, you
I'm
do
sure
it to yourself.
as soon as I'm done, you're going to be like, well, my answer is.
If you are like Ode, just know that you do it to yourself.
So what you're telling me is that when I'm done answering, you're going to need time to think.
Absolutely, because right now I'm not even thinking about it.
Whatever.
Exactly. So you soup yourself up. Take that on yourself.
Well, I need more time. That's
okay.
My answer is I need more time. Can you answer your
so your so I can think about it? Your answer is I need more time. So you answer it, even though you just told me that you would also need time.
Well, the same way I was expected to answer in seconds. On to others. So why did
you didn't even finish doing.
So why did you expect me to answer in seconds? I told you I didn't have an answer.
So then why? So then how are you trying to throw that quote at me when you couldn't even finish what was asked?
So why are you asking me to answer in seconds when you know you couldn't answer in seconds?
Because I posed the question first. What the hell is going on?
My answer is that was my other issue.
Your answer is that you're not going to answer. Okay.
No, I'm going to answer, but I literally have no. That's my other issue with Vicky. Vicky.
Oh, so we want to do the thing, the
10 things I hate about you.
Yes, you want to do that? That's the topic you want to do.
Yeah, I'll gladly.
Let me pull up my Google.
I'll gladly pick 10 out of the 85. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Start listing them.
10 things I hate about you?
Yes. Go ahead. Oh, you don't need time to think?
Oh, you said you have a Google spreadsheet? I have an Excel because Google couldn't go that long. I needed to be able to go down into the hundreds.
Okay, go. The top 10 of the 100 things you can't stand about me.
Go back to your pettiest thing you've ever done.
Wait, so now you're going to straddle the fence? No. Like now you're picking the less evil?
I want time to really put that list together.
But you said that episodes ago. Like you said that so long ago. And we never confirmed.
Yo, you just want to argue with me right now, don't you?
I don't want to argue. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy.
You just wanted to argue.
No, I'm pointing out the hypocrisy.
Well, going back to the initial question, Vicky, my answer to you, I'm allowed to have this answer that is not the answer you expected. My answer to you is I don't have any thing right now. You can go ahead and answer that question first while I try to run through experiences in my life so I can find the pettiest thing I've ever done. I do not have an answer for you within the seconds or the additional 5 seconds. So you can go ahead and answer in the meantime so I can try to think of a petty moment. It is not easy for somebody
That's what happens when you just talk a lot of poop.
It is not easy for someone who has lived a mature life, such as myself, to find or highlight a petty moment, because there are few and far and far in between.
Are you done? That was like 6 minutes of you rambling.
So go ahead and tell me your pettiest moment, or one of your pettiest moments, so I can now think of a petty moment I might have had.
What inspired the post?
That is not what I asked. Why don't you?
What inspired the post was, let me see, how can I put this without saying way too much? I had an arrangement with a person. And
was this a marriage?
Arrangement,
the way it sounds.
The arrangement was to settle something out of court or to do it in court. And I got a text recently. I received a text, and I felt that that person who I had this arrangement with was just overstepping the line. And so I decided to be petty and just send their case to the court. That's it.
For somebody who hasn't thought about it, so they seem to have had one in the tuck.
Because that's what inspired the post. That's not something that I randomly posted and then started thinking about.
Well, you know what? I didn't ask you what inspired the post. I asked you, what is your pettiest moment?
The answer was the post. What inspired me to put the post?
That was
my pettiest.
That was your pettiest.
My
moment?
Pettiest moment as of recently.
As of recent.
If I had to sit here and think, I wouldn't. I would need a lot of time.
Okay.
Because then it would be like, what's the pettiest thing you've ever done to Ode? What's the pettiest thing?
I can tell you what that was. I can
tell you what that was too. Go ahead. You tell me what that was.
The pettiest thing you have done as of recent, which pissed me. I'm still mad at myself for not looking at you and be like, you are something else.
Go ahead.
So one day, Vicky, it's like, I don't know, probably 1 a.m, maybe. No, it's probably midnight or something. I know it was late and I was sleeping. Vicky, I want to say Vicky put the baby to bed, and I'm knocked out. Vicky comes in the room and says to me to go and change the bag in the baby's diaper genie. And it was when I went to go check it, because first of all I was like, the hell is she waking me up to literally go change? You don't even that's how petty you are. You don't even remember this. And when I went to go check it, I saw that I guess I had emptied it maybe earlier that day or the day before, and I didn't, maybe the day before, and I didn't I forgot to wrap it back, like tie it back at the bottom. For those parents who are listening, they're like, oh yeah, you tie it in the bottom. For you non-parents, your diaper genie, you empty it, you tie it at the bottom, whatever. So maybe 1 or 2 diapers that we had thrown in there since had just kind of fell straight through. So in my head, I was like, so she saw that. To me, it was the equivalent of seeing something on fire and going to go tell somebody, hey, just so you know, that thing back there is on fire. When you could have easily been like, oh, he or she forgot this. But to wake me up.
I don't remember that.
That says a lot.
I don't remember that.
So basically,
what it sounds like to me is that, again, you had this whole conversation in your head. You made this whole scenario in your head. She saw it. She couldn't do it.
Vicky, it's not a scenario. It's what happened. Vicky, it's what happened.
So you're telling me that the genie is transparent? I saw the diapers fall all the way to the bottom is what you're telling me.
No.
Because that's what you just said.
No. What I'm saying is, okay, not even if you saw it. You literally, for some reason, you felt the need to be changed. You're in the room. If you felt the need to be changed, you could have just changed, but you came and literally woke me up.
The last time I asked you to change that was when you were emptying the trash throughout the whole house.
I'm letting you know it's not. I'm letting you know.
Okay, well, I don't remember.
I always do that.
I'm not apologizing for it.
Wow.
No, because I don't recall, and I know how you work. Like you do things in your head.
Vicky,
you conclude things for me.
Vicky, this is what happened. You literally it was in his room, changing him, doing whatever with him. For some reason, you noticed that it needed to be changed for whatever reason, whether it was a scent came from it or you saw it, you figured it needs to be changed, and you literally left the room, came in to get me, woke me up from sleeping, and said, and you had an attitude that day because for whatever reason, you had an attitude in that moment, not in that day, but in that moment, because you said it with your Vicky attitude voice, and you were like, oh, they wake up, you need to go change. That's what made me mad. That's what made me be like, what? You said you need to go change. I was like,
I don't remember.
If you noticed it, just change it.
I don't remember that.
That says a lot, the fact you don't remember it. But go ahead.
Okay.
Though that was my answer to what has been Vicky's most petty. Well, one of. I don't have enough gigabytes on my computer to continue my list.
Did you have enough time to answer about what's the pettiest thing you've done?
I thought we were on this now. You were gonna tell me. What my pettiest thing was. You literally just said, okay, you go ahead now. I'll tell you yours. We just said, okay, no, I'm making it up. We can go to the tape.
Go to the tape. I said, oh, I know what that one is. You go first and I'll say it.
What one is?
My pettiest thing towards you. That's what I was talking about. But you can run the tape so that you can see that I'm right. Go ahead. I'm guessing
it wasn't that. So what was it? What was it?
It was when I took everything and left you with Khalil's plate.
Ah.
I thought that was funny. I'm petty.
It's funny. It's funny.
Yeah, I'm petty.
Okay.
It was hilarious.
Okay.
I packed it. I didn't go anywhere. I said I packed that. I didn't go anywhere.
But you was about to. So you could take all your plates to where?
Oh,
I would have just bought more plates.
I'm not even gonna go into that.
I win.
You can win. So I'm not gonna go into that for legal reasons. So
What?
I'm not gonna put myself out there like that.
Okay. For legal. Okay.
Well, you want me to further explain after I just said I'm not going to?
No, I'm good. Go ahead. So back to, I guess, my pettiest moment, right?
Yeah, 20 minutes in, yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead for bad content, and we'll be silent for God knows how long while people are like, I'll play the Jeopardy music while I think. Mm-hmm. Great content, Vicky.
Again, I'm not the person who's in charge of topics. You are
neither one of us is the person in charge of topics.
Okay, so then stop trying to throw it on me.
I have a response, but I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna say nothing. But you're right, Vicky.
Neither one. I've been practicing that all week.
Practicing what?
I have a response, but I'm not gonna say it.
I'm gonna let you live.
I'm gonna let you live.
I'm gonna let you have your little stabs. I'm gonna let you have your little jabs.
Same.
Go right ahead.
Same.
But I'm trying to think who was I petty towards? Huh? Well, you?
All the time.
I'm not petty towards you. I'm just more like towards you sometimes.
Wow, that is so flattering.
I don't think I'm petty.
You're
I don't go in intentionally doing stuff to be petty. Mm-hmm. I think I'm not trying to.
But you think that I do. You think in your head, you think I do. You think I walk into situations to purposely be petty.
You quickly had one on deck. You think I was
because I just did it the other day.
I can't even think of anything I've done recently that was petty.
Okay.
So I can't think of anything right now. And I'm not trying to say I can't think of anything.
Okay. That's fair.
Okay. Oh, now it's fair to not have an answer.
I'm over it. So I'm saying that's fair so that we can move on.
Go ahead.
Wow. I don't know how to work your phone.
It's too advanced. Here, use this one. No, I don't have the You Me Me podcast on that one.
I got it. So has anything new been going on with you other than just tap dancing on my patience?
Nothing new has been going on with me, Vicky. You've seen I have been
MIA. Perfect.
Working myself to the bone. Which is why I've been exhausted. So that's why literally nothing new. I haven't really had much time to dabble in new stuff other than the Make Party Mondays podcast that I did recently. Yeah, I've literally been kind of tiring myself out working. Okay. And still waking up early and not really sleeping, but hey, just the norm.
Why are you giving me that face?
I
feel like this is boiling into an argument.
Oh, it's been there, but go ahead. I am looking at you because before we started recording, you said you will lead the conversation. So, Vicky,
I'm trying to lead the conversation, but you're being very, very hesitant about it, and you keep throwing jabs at me. You think I'm gonna stay quiet, but I'm not. Jabs. Yeah, you are.
Vicky, you may continue the conversation as you lead the conversation. Go ahead. You need help with this?
No, I'm just. Okay. Somebody submitted.
Could I have, go ahead.
A thing on Instagram that was like, before you say something to someone, just count from 10 all the way to 1 and take a breath and say it. So that's what I'm trying to do. Because we about to have an argument on air.
I was going to make a petty comment.
Oh, really? But you're a mature person?
No, so that way I can have an answer for you.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, let's go back. So you said, so I said, hey, do you need help leading the conversation? Mm-hmm. And then I said, well, we have 41 past episodes you could look at to see me lead a conversation.
Okay. So that was 41 topics that I developed. Anyway, so.
Who led the conversations?
Well, I mean, damn, do you want me to do all of it? So.
Who edits afterwards? You know what?
Ode. Wait. How many times? And I got to clap now because we're at that level. How many times have I asked you, Ode, can you teach me ABC? Can you give me 20 minutes and just teach me this? or teach me how to do this, or even like the lighting, like, yo, Ode, can you teach me how to turn this on so that I can figure something out on my own? Hey, Ode, how do you do those videos? Can you teach me how to do that so that I don't have to wait on you to do those things and put them online? How many times have I asked you?
If right now Vicky needs...
But just answer my question.
You've asked me.
Okay, how many? 1?
You've asked me several times.
5? More than 10, you would say? More than 20? A large number of times have I asked you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And how soon into us like doing stuff like that do you get frustrated and annoyed over the simplest thing?
Like what? Wait. Ode. I said Ode. Wow. Ode. That was not on purpose.
Back in my whole day.
Did nobody ever call you Ode?
Ode? No.
Oh my God, that's genius.
Because I hung around mature people.
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
going around calling me Hode.
Okay. So you that was actually genius.
No, it wasn't.
It was. So how many times have you actually made time to sit with me to teach me? Because your answer was sounding like we've sat here and then I would just get up and frustrated and walk away. How many times have we actually sat here and you've taught me?
We've done things where I try to show you something, not necessarily this.
Like
and
what?
You get frustrated easily, and there have even been times when you said, I'll just teach myself.
Okay, like
and
what?
You are,
Like what?
I hate people do that.
No. You can't hate when people do that. Oh my God, this is perfect.
Have we not sat down to go over, I can't think exactly, but we know we have sat down to the point where we just didn't finish because you got frustrated or you've just gotten frustrated over it.
Okay. My whole point in asking.
I have an example. When we first started doing the podcast, some of our first episodes that you actually sat here, but I know you're going to say, I don't remember. We actually sat here at episode like 2 or 3, or I think it was the first one, and you started doing some of the editing, and you got frustrated, and it was like, my thing was like, yo, it's going to be frustrating. Even for me, for now, it's still frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, there was your example of a time when we did sit down, and I don't know if you have the patience for it, and then there's other times we're just doing other random stuff. But we both know if you wanted to teach yourself something, like Vicky, you're the same person who will teach yourself any and everything. But then you'll say, well, they never showed me this, so whatever. But I gave you your example that you asked for.
Okay. And here's my response to your example.
What is this, a debate club? And
yes. And this is my response. And anyone that knows me knows that this is how I have conversations with people now, because it's the only way I'm gonna prevent myself from just going off the wall.
Oh, so you're short tempered, you're saying?
Yeah.
And you're quick to get frustrated and annoyed?
I'm very short tempered.
Your Honor.
Whoa. I'm very short tempered, and I have made great strides to not result in that. Mm-hmm. No matter how much you push me. So
how much I push you?
Yes, you do.
Whatever.
So my response is, we actually did that for the first episode. I remember quite clearly.
Oh, she remembers.
And
first time for everything. But you can't remember you being petty 2 weeks ago, if even.
Okay. So I remember that for the first episode, and it was frustrating because I didn't understand what was going on at all. It was the first time I was in this kind of thing. So it wasn't like I was, learning just the very basic steps of what I was in front of and what was going on.
You were, though.
I didn't feel that I was, because it was right into the editing. I didn't know what button men want. I didn't know anything. So that was a very frustrating moment. Okay. And after that, I would ask you, like, yo, can you teach me little by little, like from the bottom all the way to the top? Can you just teach me little by little? And I say this from experience. My dad used to have like this really elaborate music system, and there was steps to turn this music system on and steps to turn it off. I'm assuming it's so that you wouldn't shorten a circuit. Mm-hmm. And so when I see any kind of equipment like that, I'm thinking there must be steps in turning it on, turning it off, what you should be able to run on this, what you should not be able to run on it. I'm cool if it's on my computer, because if I mess it up, I'm not going to get mad at myself. I'm just be like, oh, well. Mm-hmm. But if it's not somebody else's stuff, I'm not going to just go in and start turning things on and start playing around, which is how I would teach myself. So no, I would actually need you to teach me just on how to get in and what I should and shouldn't do, and I can take it from there.
What did you ask
How many
me
times
to do?
have you actually taught me that?
What did you ask me to do that time? When you said you were over, what did you ask were we not doing exactly what you asked? You didn't ask me to do that. You asked me, show me how to edit the episode, and we sat down. At no time did you say, no, this is what I'm asking. We were simply doing how to cut
No.
and move.
I didn't. I'm not saying that that's what I said.
I have the
I'm
stick.
not.
I have the stick. I'm talking.
No, you can't just make a stick.
I'm joking. Yes, I can.
You can make it. That doesn't mean I'm going to follow it.
No, but listen.
But that's, I'm not saying, I'm not,
question.
oh my goodness. I wish, please, if you're listening to this episode, please let me know what you think of it, because I'm trying to make a point and you always override it or try to marry it to something that I didn't say, and then you try to make that your point, and then you try to get me to agree with it.
But you were making your point in regard to what I said, in regard to that first time. Were you not actually talking about that?
What I was saying was, and you can run it back, was that yes, that very first episode was frustrating. And what I realized was that I needed to go all the way to the basics and not right in the middle of an episode. And so after that, I would ask you to just teach me little by little on everything from the ground up. And that has never happened. And that was because I realized in that one experience that, I can't just jump into it, because I literally don't have any familiarity with this at all.
What happened?
So I'm not saying that that's what I asked, that's what I didn't specifically ask in the first one, in the only time we've done this. What I'm saying is that in that experience I realized I need him to take me all the way back, like my dad did when he taught me how to work his music system.
What was your response when we took that same approach with Photoshop? Don't worry, I'll answer for you. I don't remember.
And it's things like that that's actually really annoying, because you laugh, but in your head you actually
What was going to be your answer? What was going to be your answer?
My answer was going to be, it was very frustrating.
We did that approach, and
yes,
it was still the same.
This is the
I
only
don't want to deal with it.
This is the only thing. With Photoshop, again, it's on your computer. Or at least that's how I remember it was on your computer. You can't tell me how I can turn any of this on.
But I'm just saying that same approach you're asking for, that from scratch approach, we've taken that from scratch approach.
But if you simply just taught me the very, very foundational basics, like the very, very, very basic, I can go with it.
So you know for a fact we've never taken that approach with anything.
Not with Photoshop. With Photoshop, I remember like layers. And you were like, it was a lot. To me, it was a lot going on.
But I'm letting you know.
You weren't doing anything pro level.
We were taking your
basic
approach.
Stuff. It was basic stuff. What I'm saying is that basic for you needed to be toned all the way down, because I'm not at that level.
Even though that's all you remember, I'm letting you know we took that approach, Vicky.
Okay.
We took that approach, that simple approach, because I've taught other people basic Photoshop stuff, and that was the approach I took, and the approach I took with you. I know that's all you remember, the layers, whatever, but it wasn't anything we had to, like, it was on our laptop, so you know how to turn the laptop on, but we took that basic, like, okay, Vicky, whatever, but no matter what, even with that, you still got to that level where I don't tell you it was a lot, it was frustrating, but I'm letting you know we've taken that approach. So which is why I am hesitant to be like, no matter what approach I start with, you are going to get angry, frustrated, walk away, say I'll do it myself, or like in the past you've downloaded your own version and something you're more comfortable with, and that's been the response I've gotten when I have literally taken that from beginning approach, not even beginning, from that, like from waking up approach. I have done that.
Okay.
With the same result.
Okay.
But you don't remember. I'm joking. I'm just trying to piss you off. Gosh, calm down. What happened?
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So we did a segment on our Instagram where people can reach out to us for advice.
Mm-hmm.
And we had 2 people reach out. And the first person asked, can men and women that are in separate relationships be in group chats that is work related only? Absolutely no flirting.
Wait, can men and women be... Can people in a relationship? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
So can you and I be in separate group chats?
Yeah, work-related group chats.
Yeah. I mean, I personally like in my I don't want to say in my set of apps that I have group chats in. I'm in several different group chats. A lot of my group chats do have a purpose. I have a group chat for work. I have a group chat between some friends of mine that like we're all like best friends, so we use that group chat to keep ourselves like motivated.
This is about being in a group chat with someone of the opposite sex, but it's only professional.
Oh, you mean like just me and that person are in a group chat?
No.
I don't think I'm understanding.
Okay,
or can you paint the scenario for me, I guess?
So we'll start from the top. Can men and women that are in separate relationships be in group chats that is work related only?
Yeah.
No flirting. So it's a few people in the group chat and it's strictly professional.
Yeah, I don't.
Even if I don't know the other people in the group chat, could it be okay if I was in a group chat with other men?
Yeah, I think
chat.
If it's work related or if it's
and it's strictly professional, there's no flirting, no outside conversations, nothing.
I don't see anything wrong with that. If, like you said, if you're keeping it professional,
yeah, everything's professional.
If you're keeping it work related or just related to like what the group chat was made for.
So, like you, I was a little bit not understanding.
Yeah.
So I asked, are you in a private group chat or are you in a private chat with the person specifically? Like, if I was in a private chat with a guy from my job that I didn't know, or is it a group chat amongst coworkers? They were like, no, it's a group chat amongst coworkers, and they're like, what would cause someone to have a problem with that?
Yeah, I think that's where I'm confused about what, unless there's like there's a history.
So
people getting freaky in the group chat.
So they're asking if I was in a group chat with coworkers and there were guys in the group chat, but it was all professional, what would cause you to have an issue with me being in that group chat?
If there's some kind of history, as in like
I said that's just straight up insecurities.
Yeah.
There's nothing else, because
unless you like your past work group chats, you've been flirtatious. Like, I can't trust you with group chats.
I don't know if that's a thing of the person being insecure of a group chat, of their significant other being in a group chat. It could also be like that's probably how one of their past
relationships
gotcha, how it probably started out. So how the bad behavior started out, I guess. So they were is it my job to go above and beyond to make the person feel secure, or are they supposed to work on their own insecurities?
Both.
No,
in my opinion.
I disagree.
So you feel you shouldn't, at a time when somebody is displaying some insecurities about something, right, regarding you and your interactions with other people.
If you are not the person that caused this insecurity, then I don't think that you need to be the one to make them feel secure. I disagree. So
you don't feel it as a part of the relationship?
No.
The same way I have to I should get to a point where I'm secure because I know you and I know us. You don't feel, you know what? Let me reassure him, whether it's verbally or let me take some steps to reassure him that nothing to worry about, which will also help in his process to, not be insecure about it.
No.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think so.
Even if, let's say we have a history. Let's say there is a history there.
No. Well, that changes everything. If the reason why you are having insecurities with this person, with your significant other being in a group chat with people of the opposite sex, even if he doesn't know them or even if she doesn't know them, and they're in a private group chat, meaning there's other people there, and it's strictly professional, your insecurity is because of a situation that stemmed from that person, then it is absolutely your responsibility to secure your significant other, because you're the one that caused that insecurity to begin with.
So it's not.
But if you did not cause this insecurity, if this person came into this situationship, relationship, whatever, with that insecurity, it is not your job to fix the mistakes of others. That person needed to handle that before getting into insecurity, before getting into a relationship. Like, I can't, even though I'm sure I did, but as a person who's been on both sides of this kind of scenario, like being insecure and coming into a relationship and expecting a guy to be secure, and being on the other side, like being eyed like I'm doing something wrong when you just have an insecurity based off someone else.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my responsibility to fix what somebody else did to you. It's not fair. Like, I didn't do anything to you, so why I gotta pay for it? Okay. Like, I'm not the one that did you wrong, or I'm not the one that thinks so. Like, why would you impose that on me? I didn't do anything to you. I understand that someone may have done something to you, but you needed to handle that before you came in here with your baggage. Because if I'm not throwing anything on you, why would you? Or if I'm not throwing anything on you to that equal to equate that kind of baggage, why would you throw that on me? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think that you just need to handle your business, and that's why people should be single until they worked out their issues that they've had to unfortunately received from other people. It's like you can't come into a new relationship with the baggage of the person, and then like literally take that bag and you're handing it to the new person, like, here, I need you to solve this. Make me feel secure about something else somebody did. What? That sounds crazy.
I think the thing with baggage, and I agree to an extent. I think the thing with baggage and some insecurities, I think that there are those instances where you do take the time to be single. You do take the time to work on yourself, and you jump into something, and some insecurity or baggage you didn't even realize you had pops up.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I just feel like I'm in a relationship. There's some insecurity that you have towards me. I feel like, yes, you should work on it yourself, but I feel like it is my role to help you get there. Even if some of it involves me reassuring you that,
I don't think to me
that's the same as someone saying, hey, for whatever reason, even if in the past, for whatever reason, I feel like you aren't in this as much. My response would be, okay, I should be showing her ways, that saying things or doing things that reassure her that I am here. I feel like that, me personally, I feel like that's my role to help you.
That's different. I feel that, and this is what I told the person was, I feel that men and women should equally bear the responsibility to always ensure the other that you still find them as sexy and as beautiful and as attractive from the first time you laid eyes on them.
Don't have anything to worry about? Can you add that? Because I guess my thing is,
if you're already doing that, they're not gonna feel like you have anything. They have anything to worry about. If you're already ensuring, if you're already doing your job of always like giving them that same attention that you gave them when you were first pursuing them, or when you were first feeling them, they're never gonna not feel that you're feeling them. But if what you're doing does not make them feel secure about what you're doing when they're not there, then that's internal shit, and they're gonna have to deal with that. There's nothing you can do. You can coddle the person as much as you want, but until they don't address that shit internally, they're not gonna, like, that coddling. That's just a Band-Aid. That's not fixing anything. Like, do you want to coddle them for the rest of your relationship? Like you should be more focused in just making them feel good and letting them know for the longevity of your relationship that they're the shit, and like that they are like you look at them and you see sunshine around them, but that should just be that. It shouldn't be, let me help you with this. Is it like I shouldn't bear the responsibility of fixing your issues for you. Like, you need to handle that yourself. Now, if we're in a relationship and you say, yo, I realize that I'm imposing on you what somebody else did to me, and that's not right, and I'm gonna work on that, then yes, then at that point the other person can choose, which is what I told them. I'm like, if they want to step up and say, I know that I'm throwing this on you even though you're not the one that did this to me, I'm gonna work on it. I'm like, then at that point you have a choice. You either stay to help them work on it, or you go. But don't go back and forth with it, because then that's when shit gets messy. Like, you're insecure. You don't know, I got you. I'm gonna have your back. But when shit hits the fan, because the person's insecure and they're working through it, and working through it is not an uphill. Like, it doesn't just go like this when you're working through it. It just goes like this. It goes all over the place. So, like, Don't break up with them when shit gets crazy and be like, is that you're just mad insecure? Like, no, you're either gonna stick with them or you're not, and you're gonna write out whatever decision you make. Like, don't make their situation worse, but the person has to own it. It's not your responsibility to fix it for them. Yes, you should help them only if they're already helping themselves.
Yeah, I think it's a joint effort. I mean, personally,
I think it's a 90-10.
I think it's a joint.
I think it's 90% the person and 10% the assistance. It's not 50-50 in no way. It's not 50-50. The only thing that's 50-50 is you should be putting in the same effort that you put from the beginning when you were pursuing this person. You should still be doing that. And a lot of people fall off that boat. Me and you have fallen off that boat. Ensuring and doing those, going the extra mile to always let the person know, like, yo, you mad sexy. You're like, you know, like saying the things that you used to say. That's the only thing that's 50-50. Men should do it. Women should do it to each other. But helping them heal from an insecurity, that is 90% on the person who bears that insecurity. Because if you're not the one that caused it, then that's not for you to fix. That is not for you to fix. You are nobody's parent. This is a relationship. This is not a parent-child relationship.
It's going to sound weird.
If you're the person that caused it, though, it is 90-10 your responsibility to ensure them 10% of effort on their part. Because you're the one that caused it. 90-10. But if you're not the person that caused it, it is 90% the responsibility of the person who has that insecurity. 10% if you're going to stick around. And the 10% is, I'm going to help you in your issue, but I'm gonna still give you the 50% on top of that. That I still find you sexy, and I still find you smart, and I still find you, you know, the light of my eyes, kind of thing. Like,
I feel like this might come off weird. I'm trying to word it in my head. I think it's 50-50. I feel like it's 50-50 with the knowledge that it's gonna sound like I'm contradicting myself, but 50-50 with the knowledge that sometimes it might be more on that person, but I'm still going in. I'm not accepting that, like, I don't know. I just feel like the approach should always be 50-50, no matter what it is. Because we'll always say that. We'll always say, you know, we got to be go attack everything together, but we know for a fact that there are some things that we'll be like, nah, that ain't got to be with me. But I feel like it should always be 50-50. I feel like it's both. I get the whole thing of like. I'm not
saying that you should be like, oh, that ain't got nothing to do with me, but I feel that.
You are kind of saying. No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying someone who does that. To me, that is you saying, well, yo, bro, like, that ain't me. I feel like you should still be like, yo, I need to continue on, like,
I think that a lot
helping
of people,
this person somehow while they do the same thing.
To me, that's the 10%. I don't think that you should bear all of that on yourself if you're not the one that caused that. We attack everything 50-50. We attack I just don't think that that's a realistic thing.
Okay.
I don't, because I feel like if people stop being such a victim, honestly, and I actually was having this conversation with someone with regards to that quote that is like, God will always show you who they really are. In time, God will always show you who they really are. I have an issue with that quote, and I straddle the fence with that quote, because yes, in time, God does show you who people are, but I feel that people only use that when they're referencing when someone did them dirty or when someone did them wrong. So, like, are you telling me that God only shows you bad?
No, I think you said the way people use. The times when people...
times people use that is when they're referencing, like, oh, you see, in time, they show their true colors.
But the statement is
the true
general.
colors always bad?
Yeah, but the statement is general. You know, they'll show you what a great person they are.
Right. Like, why is it always bad?
We only reference it when we...
Right.
We
and I think that a lot of it, which ties into what we were talking about, a lot of it is that people love to be a victim. They love as a person who was never allowed an ounce of an inch to be a victim, even when I was. Yes, I was always the perpetrator.
You were never allowed to be a victim?
I was never a victim. I was always a perpetrator. I would get blamed for shit that I didn't even do.
Go ahead.
But like that is the truth. People always want to play the victim. People love playing the victim, and they never ever ever want to be the perpetrator, even if they are. They will play the victim in someone's reaction, but the victim only sees it as an action. Look what they did to me. Okay, bitch, but what did you do to them? Like, that is a reaction. That's not an action. That didn't come out of nowhere. Like, you created a atmosphere for this. So I feel like because people always want to be a victim, they can never ever accept responsibility of what they do.
Agreed.
So that's why I'm saying if you accept the 90% of responsibility, that this is your issue to work on internally, having to accept some things about the way that you've been coming at your partner who did not cause this insecurity, and the way that you've been acting, the way that it has affected you, not just in your relationship, but in other things, because something so ugly like that, like an insecurity like that, that's just spilling into a new relationship, clearly is possibly spilling in other places in your life. It just, it's not confined to one thing. So when you start to realize how this thing has been eating you up inside, you start to get humbled. Like, damn, I can't believe I behaved like that. And damn, that's what causes true change. When someone can really take a step and be like, I think I played just a little bit of a hand here. And then you start to see the ways that you've been behaving, and then you start realizing, like, okay, I gotta fix this. And then you start to catch yourself doing it. Like, that's the only way you change. So if you throw that on someone else and be like, yo, 50 me, 50 you, you're never gonna get there, because you're gonna always be 50% a victim. People need to stop being a victim. If you just step into what you need to do, and you really start stepping into things and accepting that, I think that person, it wasn't an action, it was a reaction to me, then you start to get humbled, and then that's when you start to break out and actually work towards, healing that. But that's why I think the 50-50 is not going to work, because you're still giving them, you're taking one crutch away and they're still carrying the other one. Like,
I think it's not.
When is it ever going to heal?
I think maybe I'm saying it wrong when
the effort into the relationship.
I think
outside of the insecurity, that's that got to be 50-50.
I say 50-50 in the effort in because this is now an issue for the relationship.
This is an issue for the relationship.
But it's an issue with the relationship. Your 50 will be you working on yourself. My 50 will be. It's not saying my 50 is always
my 50. My 50 is I'm still holding us down.
Yeah,
while you work on yourself.
It might be in a different way. That's why I say it's.
But
50-50.
it's not 50-50. Let me go above and beyond.
For some relationship, that might be that of that person 50. It might be a different role, but I feel like it's 50-50. But it's a
I feel like you're always gonna be the victim. You're always gonna play a victim.
You never know.
It could. I mean, again, this could work because some people like being it depends on your personality. Maybe someone that is with somebody that's a victim is paired with somebody that likes to be a problem solver, and so that relationship works. So being the 50-50 or the 60-40, whatever, maybe that works for their relationship. But in just plain black and white, which a lot of things are not, but I feel that everyone should start taking some responsibility for what they put out there, whether they're still in that space or not. Right. Just take responsibility for it, and that's going to help you get far, 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 far above.
You say somebody else or something?
Yeah, and then someone else's question was, my husband and I have different religious beliefs. I'm Catholic and he's, I believe, either Pentecostal or evangelist. But because of that, we are always arguing and judging each other.
Wait. I'm sorry. One is
Catholic.
And the other is
Pentecostal or evangelist.
Okay.
No, they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Okay.
But because of that, we are always arguing and judging each other, and it's getting a little uncomfortable. I need help, advice, opinion, something.
You want to go first?
I was like, let me think on it, because I'm not a practicing religious person. But me and you do have different religious backgrounds.
Yeah.
So in a little bit, I feel like,
as in, I have religion and you don't. No.
But there has been some friction towards religious customs that like I may have wanted to do, but I know that's not what you do.
You have
wanted to do? So I was like,
You never wanted to do any customs.
I did.
What did you want to do?
I wanted to appease my grandmother. But that's the only reason why I was like, I'm good.
Do it for you. Okay. This, again, we're not experts here. But I think
this one, I'm going to definitely throw it on the people.
I think this is one of those situations where, in the perfect world, which, maybe they did. It's a lot of conversation beforehand. Because for some people, this is a make or break for some people.
Yeah, it is.
The whole religion aspect, because religion is such a strong thing that some people like.
People live their lives.
Yeah.
By that.
So you're not gonna tell me that this way of living is not the right way, and not only telling me that my way of living isn't right, but you're telling me
you're condemning me.
Yeah, and your way is the correct way, which
right.
So it's a very hard conversation to have. My what was the question? Like, what should they do? That kind of thing.
Yeah, like they need advice on it.
For someone who is dating the devil and believes in Christ, I'm joking.
Again,
it's a joke. Come on, calm down. Jeez.
Your jokes are always like that, though.
Oh my gosh, never mind. So anyway,
we could do this again.
Calm down. That's the only response. Like, okay. I guess my thing with that is, it's one of the things that's simple, easier said than done. That whole thing of like the conversation. Like, it sucks that when you are coming in with two different approaches, my opinion, it would be to. It sounds so weird saying, y'all gotta find that hybrid of she's Catholic, and he's Pentecostal and or evangelist or yeah. Some people are and or. So I guess that's my recommendation. They gotta kind of find the and. Because if they're both sticking to their guns, you're gonna have to come to some like.
You're gonna too.
You're gonna have to.
You gotta find.
It sounds weird, but they're gonna have to come to some. Okay, boom. Prime example.
Boom.
Yeah, for people who listen to, which I want to say I'm correct in in my observation, the Bodega Boys, Jesus and Mero. Mero's wife is Jewish.
Yes.
And they have kids, and it sounds like they came to an agreement of like a hybrid. I'm assuming Mero's probably Catholic.
Most likely Catholic.
Most likely Catholic. He's Dominican. Wife is Jewish. But he's talked about doing certain Jewish customs with his children. Yeah. So they probably found that hybrid. Because clearly, I don't think Mero has converted to Judaism. So I'm sure they found that middle ground that they're both okay with and in a respectable way. As in saying we're okay with it and being okay and not throwing little jabs in there later on like, oh, we're going to do this stupid custom. So I think that's my advice to you guys. Come find that middle ground. I say it's hard to say because to me, that's like telling somebody, I need you to be okay with giving up some of your religious beliefs, which I understand.
Yeah, I feel like if you're both equally giving up something, I think it would be easier. But I think the best way to start it would be find what's absolutely most important for you to pass down to your kids because they have kids. So, choose what is the most important thing for you that your kids do, and then have your spouse choose, I really want them to learn whatever, the top 5 things from your religion that you really want to make sure that they understand, and then give that to your children and let them decide. Because later in life, they're going to decide. They're going to lean on one more than the other. Or maybe they'll create their own hybrid of their thing. But I think that telling each other that you're wrong.
That's where the problem comes
in. You can't tell each other that you're wrong. You just have to both accept that you come from different religions. And just because you practice one set of beliefs and the other one practices another set of beliefs, that doesn't mean that you're wrong. You're just different. One is not right. No one is right. You're just different. That's all. Like so like to tell the other person that the way they're living are wrong or what they're doing is wrong is like, it's kind of like you're telling them my religion is better than yours. And so already like that statement comes off belittling.
I guess one positive is that you're talking about two beliefs that a majority of the customs and practices
they're all under
are
the
similar.
Christianity
they're under
umbrella.
the same umbrella.
Yeah.
So that's one positive that should make the conversation
it's not
easy. It's
super different like a Catholic and a Jewish person or a Muslim
and atheist and a Christian.
Yeah.
I don't know how those households are going.
Yeah, so at least you have that going, that you still
you're under the same umbrella.
You read a Bible.
Yeah.
Just not your variation of the Bible. Right?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
So I would say, but I think we're saying this with the full understanding that this is so much easier said than done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we totally get that, but that's the best advice
you just
I
have to
would give.
based off of us having to work through something, which is something that you'll have to do. You'll have to work through this. So like the best advice on working through a situation like this, where it's your spouse, it's not your boyfriend or whatever, and you have kids with this person, is you always have to remind yourself that the end goal, that it is just a working progress. That even the bumps in the road, no matter how big the bump, it is just a working progress. That's just one less argument you'll have. Because really it is. And you'll still have that same argument, but just like 20 different versions. So that's one less argument. Version 20 has already been had. You're going to have them 19 more times before you move to another thing. But with every argument or every discussion, just aim to like try to understand what the other person is saying so that you can just move that much quicker through it. Like when you are having a disagreement on something pertaining to your religion, just when they're talking, try to empathize with what they're saying, because I feel like that's the only way you're going to really try to make the best effort to understand what they're saying, as opposed to listening for them to stop talking to say what you gotta say. Like, listen to understand and not to respond. That's like the foundational how to work past all arguments. Listen to understand. Like, just put yourself in their shoes while they're talking. When they're done talking, if you still need some time to process what they're saying, just be like, yo, I just need a few minutes. So I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. If you have questions, ask the questions. Don't go in your head assuming the answers, because what you think they may have said is probably not what they said, but that's what you heard. And what someone says and what you hear are always very different. So try to make sure that you completely understand what they're saying. And it helps to really say, I just want to really understand what you're saying, because this is what I'm understanding from what you said. So please don't get frustrated, but walk me through it. And if your discussions about it are like that and you keep it in that manner, I promise you this will be a much smoother sailing than what you can anticipate.
You know what's the best way to start the conversation? Next time, if you get home from work first, make some tea, sit behind the table, sit in your chair, put another chair on the side, get a pen or a marker, piece of paper, a large piece of paper, and with that marker, write, Catholics are the true Christians. Change my mind. And put that sign so when he walks in, he sees that sign and just sit there waiting. And Catholics are the true Christians. Change my mind. And that's how you start the conversation.
Yeah, don't do that. And don't do that. Obviously, don't do that.
No, honestly, maybe do it to kind of lighten the conversation.
Yeah, don't do that until you're in that space.
Yeah.
Because they can do that with, like, out of the 20 different things that will probably start an argument, we can do that with about maybe 3.
Okay. 0.1. Maybe. Right.
I was trying to be nice and say 3.
Okay. So that's our advice for that?
Yeah, that's our advice for that.
Well, what are you going to do if a year from now somebody messages us back? I followed your advice and now I'm getting a divorce. Thanks.
Congratulations.
We gave you a disclaimer.
Yeah, we're not professionals, and I am relying on my experience as someone who has unnecessarily been through so much.
Cool.
Unnecessarily on my part.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
All right.
Glad you made it out alive.
What else was there?
Those were ours for this week.
That's our first words of wisdom.
Words of experience.
We need a name for the segment. We'll ask the people to give us a name for this segment.
My woe.
Words of experience.
My words on experience.
What was that song? Riding through the six with my woe. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're hip hop heads. All right. So is that it for this week, or?
Yeah, we're about to go have that discussion.
Sure. I would love to have it on air, actually. But
we need to mark when we stopped arguing so that we can tell people, like, yo, if you want to listen to us argue and tell us who was right, this is the first half. The second half is where we give advice.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the You, Me, We podcast.
Thank you.